Hi guys, and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to apply transformations and translations to functions. So I've got a previous video on how to do simple ones like translating up and down, left and right, but this is now involving scale factors, which is a bit harder to do, but definitely very possible. So let's have a look. So I've got a function here which is y equals 2fx, where the 2 is in front of my function. Because it is in front, I'm going to be multiplying my y coordinates by my scale factor, which is 2. Okay, so I'm going to pick some coordinates here and I'm going to multiply it by 2. So for example, I've got 1, 1 here. That's actually now going to transform into 1, 2, because I did this y coordinate here. 1 times 2 is 2, so now that's where that's going to be. Okay, so let me plot that point now. Let's do another coordinate. So let's do, for example, -1, 0. So this one here, that's now going to become -1, 0. So that doesn't have any change. So that's going to stay the same. Now, let's look at another one. For example, I'm going to go -2, 2. Now, 2 times 2 is 4. So it's becoming -2, 4. So that means it's going to be, oops, up here. Okay, so you can see how things have changed. Okay, so you should be doing it for all those coordinates and figuring out how they've changed. Okay, and they're gonna like stretch the graph a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish it off for you just so you can see what this looks like. Do you see how it's kind of like you've stretched it lengthways? So that's what's going to happen to the graph when you've got a scale factor like this. Okay. Now, let's do an example where I've got, for example, y equals f2x, where the 2 is inside the brackets. Do you see how that's different to this, where that's on the outside, that's on the inside? Now, important to note that if it's inside the bracket, my scale factor is not 2. It is 1 over 2, is the reciprocal. So my scale factor is 1 over 2, or a half. So I'm going to multiply, not my y coordinate, but my x coordinate by half. So let's look at my example. So I've got 1, 1. That's going to become half 1. So this x coordinate multiplied by a half. So 1 times a half is a half. So that's going to be my first example there. Then I'm going to have my next one, which is 2, 2, for example. That's going to become 1, 2. All right. So let's have a look. So I'm going to plot this one first. So half 1 is going to be like here somewhere. Then I'm going to have 1, 2. That's my next spot. Then if I have 4, 2, that's going to end up being 2, 2. So then, like that. So do you see how it's almost like squashed it? It's kind of, like lengthwise, it's kind of pushed in this direction and you're kind of moving it together. Whereas for this one, you're pulling it up and down as if you're stretching a dough up or something like that. And then for this one here, stretching the dough left and right. Okay, so you're changing the graph in a very different way when you've got the 2 on the inside. Okay. And you're going to do this for all your other similar coordinates, and eventually you'll be able to connect the dots and figure out the rest of it. I'm going to quickly show you this one here. Should end up something like that, where, yeah, they've got to kind of be squashed together. Now, I'm going to show you one final version of this where you've got f of 0.5x. Now, note that the scale factor is inside the bracket or inside x, so my scale factor is actually going to be 1 over 0.5. which is 2. So that means I'm going to multiply my x coordinate by 2. So then, for example, that 1, 1 coordinate, this one here, is going to become 2, 1. It's going to end up here. I'm going to have 2, 2. It's going to end up being 4, 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so that's my next one. So 4, 2. And then I'm going to have -1, 0. It's going to end up being -2, 0. So that this coordinate now is going to be over here. So do you see how it's actually stretched it out? You know how the example that you just saw just then, this one here squashed it together. Now this one's pulling it apart this way. I'm stretching the dough out super long that way. Okay? And that's what's going to happen with this one too. It's kind of stretched it out. So even though this number is smaller, it's actually stretching it out lengthways. It's actually pulling it apart. Okay, so that's the effect of scale factor. So just noting when to multiply the coordinates and what your scale factor is, these all change. Okay, so it's really important to note when those things happen. Okay, so the next video I'm going to show you is how to reflect over the x and y axis.